Sendo is set to fight the undefeated world featherweight champion Ricardo Martinez as soon as possible, and the stakes just got even higher when they randomly ran into each other and made it very clear that one of them isn't going to survive the fight. The theory that Sendo won't make it out of this fight alive has been floating around for years, ever since the match was officially set. And honestly, it makes sense. Sendo is the type to give up no matter how life-threatening the situation is. Meanwhile, Martinez has no problem sending someone to the afterlife if he really has to. As you guys know, after Mashiba's world title fight ended in tragedy, Sendo's world title fight was scheduled next, but before it could happen, he found his grandmother unconscious at home. Miyata and Ippo even questioned why Sendo wasn't answering them. While Sendo was busy looking after his granny, Martinez landed in Japan. And before he did, there was a massive storm. Heavy rain, strong winds, the whole thing. But the moment Martinez arrived, the storm vanished. His coach even joked that it was because of Ricardo's presence, since his nickname comes from the Aztec sun god. But Ricardo quickly shut it down, saying his only power is inside the ring, nothing else. Now, here's where things get interesting. The last time Ricardo came to Japan to fight Eiji Date, he came alone. He just sparred with local boxers and Japan's champion at the time, Ippo. But this time, he brought 20 other boxers with him, including the Mexican featherweight champion Nargo Jose, the same guy Sendo already defeated. That alone shows how seriously Ricardo is taking this fight. He knows how dangerous Sendo is, and he's not taking any risks. Not only that, but Ricardo even requested to spar with Miyata, the OPBF champion. And to top it off, he delayed his world title fight just to prepare for Sendo. That's why he fought Wally first, to test himself against a wild fighter like Wally before stepping into the ring with the wildest featherweight there is, Sendo. While Ricardo was sailing into Japan, Ippo got another phone call, but this time it wasn't his boyfriend, it was his not girlfriend instead, Kumi. Kumi called to tell him that Mashiba can now open his eyes, meaning he escaped the possibility of, well, not being alive. This gave Ippo a huge sense of relief, and Kumi even asked if he could come see Mashiba. But Ippo has no common sense of a normal human and told her that he'll be leaving in 2 days for Osaka because Sendo's title fight was coming up and he needed all the support he could get. Kumi just hung up the phone and started sobbing because, once again, Ippo completely lacks common sense to realize that she also needs support. And then Ippo kinda realized how stupid his answer was and proceeded to bang his head against the wall. Which, yeah, is relatable. I've done this many times myself after posting cringe artwork on my Instagram of my upcoming Hajime no Ippo fan comics. Then we get the moment that just feels different in the story. Ricardo Martinez is completely alone in Osaka, just appreciating the ancient buildings and surroundings while doing his road work, and for once he actually looks at ease. Normally, whenever we see Ricardo, he's always surrounded by other boxers, the press, or at the very least his coach. But seeing him alone for the first time, just in a good mood, is honestly refreshing. But he isn't alone for long. While passing somebody, he almost shizzed his pants and turned back to see Sendo, also doing his road work. Sendo was visibly bloodlusted, but he also could be in a grief right now. We unfortunately do not know what happened to his granny, but whatever happened affected him. Ricardo sensed the bloodlust and wanted Sendo to stop and save the bloodlust for their fight. In an unintentionally funny moment, Sendo says that he does not understand a single thing Ricardo says, since he does not know any English or Spanish, but gives him a warning. The next time when I fight, Ricardo should be prepared to give his life in the ring. Now, the reason this last line especially concerns me is that Ricardo is ready to give everything in a fight. From all the fights we've seen from Ricardo Martinez, he always pays his opponents back with their intentions during the fight. In his title defense against Date, Ricardo finished him off with Date's own signature move, the corkscrew punch. In his title defense against Billy McCollum, Billy is notorious for his impressive jab, so Ricardo only threw jabs in that fight and even managed to break McCollum's left arm to stop him from jabbing, defeating him in just a single round using only jabs. And lastly, in his fight against Wally, Wally's game plan was to blind Ricardo Martinez to then hit him with ease. Ricardo then made sure to finish off Wally in a savage way, and that poor guy ended up permanently blinded in one eye for the rest of his life and retired. But during the fight, Wally's last attempt to fight Ricardo was to spam the smash Sendo used in order to prove if the smash would land on Martinez. Sendo realized that that smash of its own is not enough to win against Martinez, so he developed the feint smash strategy, which he used against Takamura and even almost KO'd him. This shows that it could KO a normal featherweight if Takamura, who is much tougher, is affected. Miyata even saw the potential and trained alongside Sendo to perfect the strategy. But however, after weeks of training, Miyata wasn't sure if the strategy would work, since Sendo was not able to land a single hit on his pretty face during sparring sessions. So Miyata will try to use the smash against Martinez too, if he spars with him, to see if he can find an opening to later help Sendo to perfect his strategy. And if you have watched my recent video, you would know that I made a full-depth theory that Ippo will also get involved during the spar with the anti-Martinez strategy, since he already has one planned beforehand but needs someone to execute it, someone like Ippo himself. But when everything is said and done and they find the strategy against Martinez, will it be enough for Sendo to defeat him? This guy showed his true colors for just a glimpse and made a high-class boxer blind. What will happen if he takes off his mask completely to fight against Sendo? Sendo is proud of his power and confident enough that he can defeat Martinez in the ring to give him a chilling threat, but Martinez always finds a way to give his opponents their karma in one shape or form. But will he really cross the line to show the first victim in the ring of the series? The theory that one character might not make it out alive in the series for character development or plot progression has been discussed ever since Ippo retired. Right now, this theory is more true than ever before with the recent events. Coach Kamugawa is secretly hiding a sickness, coughing up blood, which may lead up a big shift in the story. Mashiba was battling for his life after his world title fight, and only now we gotten the confirmation that he survived, but he may end up with permanent damage that will affect him for the rest of his life. Sendo's granny collapsed and her current situation is unknown. And lastly, Sendo's final warning that one of them is not making it out alive just puts the nail in the coffin, suggesting that something major will happen in the upcoming fight. One reason that Sendo's unalive theory also gets brought up is because of the series Ashita no Joe. Now, I don't want to spoil you guys, but know that Morikawa's reason for starting Hajime no Ippo is because of Ashita no Joe and its influence it had on the series. The only thing that I will mention is that Sendo and Ricardo Martinez are based on two boxers from the series, and both fight in a brutal match with only one of them making it out alive by the end. Since both Sendo and Martinez are based on these two characters, fans assume that Morikawa might pull off the same stunt to pay tribute to the series that made it possible for Ippo to exist. What I can safely say is that the least that will happen to Sendo is that he breaks his fist, just like it was shown in his fight against Alfredo Gonzalez, and it will happen again in his fight against Martinez. But he'll continue fighting until they give out, he loses and is forced to retire. The worst case scenario is for Sendo to unleash the inner monster of Ricardo Martinez, and they both will engage in a brutal fight where neither of them is willing to give up until one of them is ready to give their life. And if one of them is going to give it, it's going to be Sendo. All we can hope for is that Sendo doesn't cross the line for Martinez, but with where we are in the story, it seems inevitable that Sendo might unleash the most dangerous version of Ricardo Martinez. If you have enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more Hajime no Ippo content. I'm the Reading Crow, and thanks for watching.